Guess what the best interior stain is? I'll give you a hint. It doesn't rhyme with Minwax.
Well, I've seen the fruits of my labor. What I have, I built with my own hands.
Yo, what's cracking, folks? Jeremy Vassar here with Practical Painting. We are professional painters here to help you with your various painting endeavors. And today I'm going to be talking a little bit about staining. Particularly, I'm going to be talking about my most favorite interior oil-based stain of all time. And I feel like we need like a dramatic reveal. I covered it in a rag, which it deserves better than this. Maybe when I pull it, we can add like some like hallelujahs or like a something like that. I'm just saying. Drew, like hook it up. All right, ready? Boom. So this is interior oil-based stain from Tsar, and their stuff is awesome. Again, this is an oil-based product, and the color of this one is Oiled Leather 503. Color doesn't matter. It's the actual product that I'm talking about, not necessarily a specific color. But yes, this is my most favorite stain of all time. And just putting this a little bit into context, like what this product would be used for. Again, it's an interior stain. It's a multi-surface stain. So what that means is it's for interior woodwork. So it would be, you know, baseboards, your crown molding, any kind of like chair rail molding, any of that kind of stuff, staircase treads, handrails, all that, like newel posts, things like that. I'm actually working on a brand new staircase this week using this exact product, which I thought it would be timely to actually kind of review it as I'm using it right now. You'll probably see some of that staircase actually looped into our B-roll in this video. So again, it needs to be raw wood, so it needs to not have stain already on it or polyurethane or anything like that. I say that sounds ridiculous, but I've actually had to go and fix some things where mistakes were made and people put stain over top of things that had already been stained and polyed, expecting it to look nice, which is not how that works. In any event, amongst our crew, I'm the dude that does the majority of the interior staining. It tends to be one of the more technical projects that we do, particularly when I'm running stain and then multiple coats of polyurethane over top of that. So I've used a bunch of different stains over the years. You know, everyone's probably familiar with Minwax, and that's kind of what I would say most people's experience with staining anything. They're usually using a Minwax stain because they're carried at Home Depot and Lowe's and Sherwin-Williams and a bunch of other places. So there's nothing wrong with Minwax. I still use it, particularly when the client has already chosen a color from that selection, or that's what they used previously on some other piece of molding in the house, and I'm trying to match things exactly. There's nothing wrong with that, but as I said, if I had my preference, I would use Tsar every single time on the stain projects that I do, and for a variety of reasons, which I will get into right now. Number one is their color selection. They have really nice kind of current colors, and they always have like really good names for them too. It's like Oiled Leather and Black Caviar and Silk Gray, Baby Grand. It just sounds nice. I mean, even their marketing material is very, very luxurious. I tried to match my backdrop to kind of what they're going for here. So it's just, the colors are very current, where a lot of the colors from Minwax are a little more old school, and in a lot of the types of jobs that we're in now, particularly with some of the higher end homes that we're in, the color set from Tsar is really nice, and I tend to always find something that'll work with whatever project we're working on. I really like their darker colors. They have some really nice kind of grayish colors that are neat and kind of in vogue right now, with some of the gray wood and then some of the grayer color schemes that we're doing with the paint jobs as well. Number two is workability. This is really my kind of big reason for recommending this product. If you're used to using Minwax or some other type of stain, you'll probably have experienced how runny those products are. And what I mean by that, it's just very loose. So if you have to do anything above you, it's going to just run straight through your brush, or if you're ragging it on, it can also be an issue. And it tends to just be very runny and loose and kind of annoying to work with, whereas this particular product goes on like a paint, which is very nice. I'm mostly a painter, so I do a fair amount of stain work, but mostly what I do is interior painting. So it's just nice when this functions the way that it does. It's really, really pleasant to work with. And I put it on with my standard 2.5-inch Corona Cortez brush, unless I'm doing something real small. But a lot of times, like I said, I'm doing stair treads and handrails and things like that where I'm putting on a decent amount of product. But this goes on really, really nicely. It is a pleasure to work with, and you can see exactly where you laid the stain down. So, and you guys will see that in a second when I do a little demo on a piece of wood that I have. Number 3 is coverage. This stain covers up really, really well. I don't know if I've ever done a second coat. It almost always works well with just one coat, where I brush it on and then rag it off, which you'll see me do in a second. And that's really nice. Sometimes with thinner stains, you don't get the depth of color that you were looking for, and you might have to run a second coat on to get the color that you're looking for. I've really never had that issue with any of the oil-based stains I've used from Tsar, which is super nice. So I think it's because too it's fairly thick, so you can really see where you've gotten everything covered, which is very nice. And then you can just wipe it off, and you are good to go. So those are my reasons to check this product out, and I thought I would do a little demo for you guys whilst I got you here. And I have a offcut from actually the treads that I'm working on this week. From the job site here. The carpenters were nice enough to save me some. It's also what I do when I do samples. So let's see, this color is oiled leather. I think I'm gonna use, what's this? We've got dark chocolate truffle. Yeah, what's nice is they also sell it in these little half pints, so a lot of times a little bit of stain goes a long way. That's why I don't really mention price either, because I don't even know how much this is. It's like 20-ish bucks, 25 bucks for a quart, but unless you're doing an ungodly amount of staining, a quart will do a lot. I'm not even halfway through a quart, and I did an entire staircase with treads and handrails and newel posts and stuff. So, all right, let's crack open this little guy. Gonna stir this a scooch. Get all those solids mixed in. Let's get into it. All right, this is nice and stirred up. All right, got my nice little foam brush here. Alright, so that's it applied. You see how dark that is? It just looks straight like paint right now. Super nice. So I like, you can rag this on as well. I just use one of those little foam brushes because we're just doing a little demo on here. But we're gonna let this chill out for a second, and then I'll come back to it, and then I'll rag this off and show you kind of what it looks like when we're done. All right, so enough of this stain has soaked in, and what'll happen is if you're actually like laying this down on something you genuinely want to stain, once you prep the surface of the wood, which I did this earlier where I sanded it, I did like a real rough sand with 150 grit sandpaper, and then I hit it with some mineral spirits just to clean it and then open up the pores. So what'll happen is when you lay a stain down and let it sit, it's going to dry for a little while, and then the wood will take in as much stain as it can, and then you just need to rag off the rest. So this is just a clean rag. You can get them in big bags from Sherwin-Williams or Home Depot or wherever. Sometimes they come in boxes. And then I'm just going to wipe this off. And then we are, boom. And then we are left with a nicely stained piece of wood. You can see the difference on the back. That's the wood. And then there is your, what was this? Dark chocolate truffle. So yeah, nice color, looks good. I think this is a poplar wood. But anyway, I just thought I'd show you guys that. That's what it looks like once you're all dunsies. and it's that simple. So there you go, folks. A nice little example of how to throw down some stain. I am going to be doing some more in-depth videos on my whole staining process and going into the polyurethaning as well. I just wanted to show you guys real quick kind of how thick it is and how well it goes on, and then nice little results on a lovely piece of poplar. Alrighty, so if you've got some interior staining to do on some raw wood in your house, some moldings, doors, whatever, and you're interested in trying a super sweet product, I would highly recommend Tsar Interior Oil Base Stain. Yeah, I don't think you'd be disappointed, and I am going to do some more videos on some polyurethaning as well. I would also recommend their polyurethane, which I will be covering very shortly. So that's going to do it for me, folks. I appreciate you guys watching. If you found this video useful in any way, shape, or form, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. And until next time, y'all take it easy, work smart, and have a good one. Peace.
Amazing.